James, you shouldn't have to answer for all advanced people, all political types, and both parties. But tell me why responses are so bad. Tonight, this Chuck and Nancy visual tonight launched 1,000 memes while they were still talking. There was an American Gothic meme. There was a your mother and I are very upset you stayed out so late meme. And someone has to account for Bobby Jindal, his guest appearance in Gone with the Wind, and for Rubio drinking water. But this visual from tonight goes down in the pantheon. What is the problem with responses, James?
They seldom, if ever, work at the State of the Union. They usually get some young person to respond. They tried that with Jindal. That didn't work very well. I don't think they wanted to do it. I don't think they should have done it. And I guarantee you at the staff meeting tomorrow morning, somebody is going to get, chewed out pretty good about this whole thing. The only good thing about it, it didn't matter. They could have given a Gettysburg Address and it wouldn't have mattered. He didn't want to be. I've been more excited about colonoscopies than he wasn't giving his speech tonight. He didn't want to be there.
Well, we've now we've completed our journey through the human body. Hey, Michael, the first thing people said on social media tonight was it looked like the Democrats only had the one podium. These two people, both of great station and accomplishment, are sharing this little, tiny, modest wooden podium.
Yeah, I didn't get it. I looked at that. And I tweeted out. I thought it was me. Dems, don't do that again. I don't know what they were trying to accomplish here. Certainly, the message was lost in the visual. But Jim is right. I mean, did it really matter in the end? Because nobody wanted to be doing what they were doing tonight, and that's the bottom line. I think tomorrow, federal workers should be even more concerned about their situation and whether or not this government is prepared to really do anything about it in the short term. And that, all the memes and the visuals aside, that's the seriousness of this. 800,000 individuals and their families are being impacted because of nothing but politics and a lack of conviction and courage to do the right thing.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.